everybody, and welcome back once again to 80 Days. And as we left off in the last session, we were in Rome after nearly getting blown up. We're still alive, thankfully. Yeah, we sailed across to Rome from Nice on a ship, and Passepartout met a lovely lady. We're getting a feeling for what Mr. Passepartout likes in life, aren't we? Likes to remain prim and proper, likes the company of the ladies, and likes the little things in life, the little luxury, sipping wine on a train, and all that kind of stuff. We'll see how he continues on. Right, so, yes, there was another issue in terms of the fact that the textures didn't load properly in the last session, which I completely failed to notice, but it seems that we have got the world map back on. And I'm apparently going too slowly. It's unlikely that I will get around the world in 80 days if I don't get a move on, apparently, so yeah, we'll have to plan a bit more efficiently and get ourselves moving. But ultimately, I'm just here to have a good time. See where that takes us. Okay, so yeah, time does tick whilst I'm talking, so we've got to get cracking. So we were in Rome and we were thinking about departing to Athens. Now, we needed to adjust and yeah, the airship, we're going by airship tomorrow at 12 noon to Athens. Now, as far as I can remember, as I check our suitcases here, we did actually purchase something that would be useful in Athens, a hammer. Valuable in Athens, because obviously in Athens they have a distinct lack of hammers, so we shall be the knights in shining armour supplying them with basic tools. Okay, so that's that. So we can plan apparently. So this could help us in the future. Like for instance, where do we go when we get to Athens? Where do we move onwards? Now there was some talk about heading to Egypt. Somewhere down here. There's Cairo, or there's Alexandria. That's the one that was on the top of our list. There was Khartoum stated somewhere. I don't know where Khartoum is. I thought it was in... there it is. There it is. But that's a little bit too far south. And then if we can get from Cairo or Alexandria to Suez, we can then take the route that was mentioned right at the very start, taking us all the way across to Bombay. A place that I wouldn't mind visiting. India. A lot of my friends' parents are from India. So we're keeping to the warm climes. It's the general gist. But for now, we can't go anywhere. So all that is left for us to do is hit the hotel, get up bright and early, and head off to Athens, where we will hopefully partake in some sightseeing, take in the Acropolis, and all that kind of good stuff. Somehow I doubt it. Okay, so 2 more days until the bank will be ready with our money. Now this is another thing. Apparently, there's no reason for us to backtrack, so I'm still at a loss as to whether the money that we took out in was it Nice or Paris? I can't remember. Will be waiting for us over there, or if every bank, you know, you can get it from any bank, if that makes sense. Not quite so sure, but we'll wait to see what happens. Basically, keep ourselves occupied before retiring, and I afforded my master every service. Well, one thing you need to know about Passepartout is that he doesn't get on very well with Monsieur Fogg, and therefore attending to his every whim. No, thank you. How about a good stretch of the old legs? What? And managed to have my pocket picked to the tune of £27? Goodness gracious me! What the hell? I want to get a grip here in Rome. It's supposed to be a lovely place. Not a place to have your pockets picked. Curses. Right, onwards. Athens, 120 smackers, aboard the Icarus. Off we tootle. 3 cases. Oh, high winds! But thankfully, we have the pocket altimeter to negate some of the bothersome heights. Off we go. So we boarded a commercial passenger airship in one of Rome's many docks. The stowing of luggage was handled by lines of figures with hooks and extendable poles fitted to their arms. What do we think of technology? I think we're interested to see what's going on. I watched with an acrobat's interest as they flung cases to one another, swung in and out of the cargo hold, moving about like monkeys. They were cheerful types, full of raucous humour and efficient, for we were all within the cabin of the craft within a few hours, and the ship itself was tugging at its docking ropes after an hour or so more. Let's have a look at some of the news. Paris World Fair, a roaring success. Well, that's nice to know. We certainly enjoyed our little trip around the place. As we float on across Italy. The trip was long and somewhat slow. Okay, so I find the wait involved in travelling interminable. What does that mean? Does that mean? I don't know what it means. I've never heard the word. Monsieur Fogg was quite indifferent to it all. Yeah, well, that seems reasonable. He peered through the window and nodded. Onwards and upwards, he declared. The airship crossed Italy, and we were approached by one of the cabin staff, a middle-aged lady, whose serving tray was jointed to her left hip. Coffee? She asked. Or would you prefer a pressé? After his trip on the train, sipping on wine. Is there none here? He asks. And the lady smiled. Of course, sir, she replied, and sashayed away down the aisle, returning a moment later with a deep glass of Merlot. I thanked her and toasted the benefits of first-class travel. Once again, passport to enjoy the finer things in life. Coffee? Who wants coffee when you can have wine? Sailing along, floating along to Athens, where we shall do nothing. The Aegean below sparkled like a diamond-covered cloth. Even from this great height, we could see the ferryboats plying their trade back and forth across the water. How do we stay up in the air, we wonder? And then proceed to ask the man beside us, a short Greek fellow with thick spectacles. He shook his head. My friend, I have not the slightest idea, but I do not question such things. Not until I'm on the ground, at least. Okay. Noticing that he had a bit of a Greek twang to his accent, we asked him about Athens. And he spoke at length about his home city, how glorious it was, its illustrious past and wondrous buildings, music to our ears, of course. I had the sense that Monsieur Sophos, despite sitting beside me, miles up in the air, beneath a hydrogen-filled balloon, was happy to live inside his imagination, and several hundred years in the past. And bingo! We arrive! We arrive! We can sell the hammer, apparently. Of course we can! For a pretty penny. 190? Better than a smack in the chops. Right, an elastic wallet. After being pickpocketed. Bargain. A Ushanka. Part of the Russian gentleman's wardrobe set. We're not going anywhere near Russia. Can of engine oil. Valuable in Thessalonica, Cairo and Novorossiysk. We could be going to Cairo, although I prefer Alexandria. And I have no idea where Hail is. If I knew where it was, I might purchase it, considering how much it's worth. I don't think we're going to be going to Berlin, so we're going to have to sell the wine. I don't think we can drink it, to be honest. Take this just in case we pass through Cairo. You know what I mean? Can of engine oil. Yeah, why not? Bust of Apollo. A squat marble bust depicting the great god looking somewhat mean. Right. Okay. Part of the Urban Traveller set. Part of the Valeting set. So I'm missing the part of a set here. The Englishman Wardrobe set. We've got that. So we're missing something for the Valeting set, and we're missing something for the Urban Don't know if we've missed them completely or we've come across them already. But anyway. So we've been shopping. We can't do anything else other than hit the hotel. So rest up. And in the morning we shall take it from there. We would like to explore the place if possible. My master was not, as a rule, particularly interested in the fabulous locales and exotic cities we journeyed through. More's the pity. Athens was the exception that proved the rule. His sudden interest was unfortunately not limited to the city. He fixed me with a look. "Do you speak Greek?" I have spent a glorious summer with a Greek contortionist. Well, now, Passepartout, why does that not surprise me? Who could do the most elegant arabesque penché? Mais oui, monsieur, I smile sharply. Repeating a few of the phrases taught to me by my paramour. Monsieur Fogg blushed vermilion. "That, Passepartout," he cleared his throat, "is a very specialised vocabulary." Despite my master's grasp of ancient Greek, the demotic variant more commonly spoken on the streets eluded him. We were reduced to asking for directions through a combination of mime, and of course Passepartout is very good at mime, having patted his pockets earlier on after not buying tickets to board the train on London. Opposite quotations from Homer, my master, and half-remembered flattery. We picked our way through the labyrinth streets of the Plaka and up to the Acropolis. Oh, how fabulous! What a fabulous, fabulous view you get from up there. I have been myself to the Acropolis. Fabulous. Lots of steps to get up the damn place, but as soon as you're up there, absolutely glorious view. And we gazed at the Parthenon, the columns. It was a magnificent sight, even in ruins. I could only imagine how it must have looked 2,000 years ago. The jewel in the crown of the Athenian Empire. We normally observe it, but we cannot help but express our marvel. It is exquisite. I breathed, interrupting Monsieur Fogg's silent reverie without quite meaning to. Alas! Our quiet, companionable moment did not return. Oh, what? Once again, we have ticked off Mr. Fogg. We just can't seem to do anything right. The ticket scenario, it ticked him off. Something else that we did in Nice, it ticked him off. Now we interrupt his silent reverie of the Acropolis. It ticks him off. Oh. It's almost like this is our specialty. Right. There's nothing we can do apparently, or is there? How do you... Oh, we could go to the overview. Oh, your journey around the world, 10 days and counting. Ah, right. Okay. So how do we get to the world map to travel? Normally it says plan or depart, doesn't it? I don't think we can. So we'll have to quickly explore and see if we can find some new routes as part of our exploration. So yeah, that's all we can do. We visited the Acropolis, so it's time to move on to new climbs. Now, there is no route to take us down to Egypt that we know of. So we'll have to go to the next stop, which is Izmir. Arrives today, apparently, if we get a move on. Via the Aegean ferry. It could only take 2 cases, though. But we have 3. We could hire extra space, or we can squeeze our stuff into 2. What do we do? What do we do? That can go there. Perfect. 2 cases not required. Sweltering heat and mild seas. This looks like a wearisome option. Oh well. Tough cookies. It's the only option. We're not going to double back on ourselves, that's for certain. Off we go! The Aegean ferry. Slow. Bothersome. So we boarded the daily ferry across the Aegean Sea. And then sat out on the deck enjoying the sunshine, of course. Getting some much needed rest. A bit of chit chat, why not? I'm at your service, Monsieur Fogg. Ah, the bumbling Passepartout. Begin a conversation about Izmir. So what have you learned about Izmir, we ask? The Ottoman inventor Hayyan el-Safar died in Izmir. Okay. Talk about something else. Did you discover anything in the paper about Novorossiysk? Have you heard that some buyers will pay well for engine oil? Beirut? Or should we discuss money? We'll see what the money option brings up here. Okay. It's giving us some tips about how to raise cash. Other passengers milled around, talking loudly and drinking ouzo, chilled by chips of ice carved from blocks in the hold of the ship. Of course, we kept a close eye on our possessions after being pickpocketed in Rome. I think we are now once a bit more safety conscious. This place had the air of a souk that might be teeming with cut purses. Otherwise, I spent my time watching the scenery go by. Yes, it seems to be the order of the day when it comes to travelling for Mr. Passepartout. Enjoys a bit of scenery and relaxing. Even a valet must take time off. Once again becoming polished. And here we are in Izmir. Right, it's 6 o'clock. We're going to quickly go to the market. Part of the desert traveller set. 2 items. A machete, part of the jungle traveller set, and a safety harness. Part of the heavy storm set. I mean, what the hell are these different? We are going across the desert. Yeah, right, we'll just purchase these. Do you know what? We'll purchase these. That'll do for now. And quickly plan a route. The only route we can go to... What about if we want to go here? We're going to Istanbul. We're going backwards here. We're going away from Egypt. Departs in 2 days. Alexandria? This is where we want to go. Right, I think what we'll do is we'll camp overnight, and maybe in the morning we might be able to find out something that might help us get to Egypt. The port of Smyrna, or Izmir as the locals called it, was the gateway to Ottoman trade with Europe. The British and French had their own consulates and private keys. But there was also Dutch and Venetian flags amongst the fleets of trade ships and dirigibles. So So you could have a conversation with the Greek textile merchant, or we could roam the dock inquiring into Onward Passage. That seems to be, yeah, we need to find out how to get to Egypt if we can. Speaking to the fishermen and the merchants, but with little success. Money talks in these parts, I think. Little bribery, perhaps? At that point, they turned violent, quite certain I was insulting their dearly held honour. So we quickly found shelter in the warehouse of a merchant, who watched my arrival with sceptical curiosity. I do not understand tourists. Why go somewhere unless you have a purpose? She made another mark in her ledger, with more force than was strictly required. Pleasure is a purpose, we retort. She rolled her eyes so thoroughly, I feared she would do herself an injury. I should have expected nothing else from a culture which invented the galette, she sighed, but to my chagrin declined to elaborate upon her distaste for the delicious foodstuff. We asked her about onward travel, and she shrugged. I have no idea of the most pleasant journeys, she replied, but the fastest must surely be the Kamertaj, from Istanbul to Tehran and beyond. It's a whole new kind of engine, they say. I bade her farewell as the moon rose. A sailor played a tune on a lyre, while his compatriots sang along. It was a beautiful night in Izmir. Okay, so we're not going to Egypt now after all that. We are going to Istanbul and then to Tehran and going across the Middle East, apparently. Well, what time does that leave? Departs for Istanbul tomorrow at 3, although we could negotiate. And no. We'll wait until tomorrow. We'll explore instead. So we're exploring Izmir on day 11. I took a brief turn about the docks once more in the late afternoon and came across a cheerful fisherman sitting on the deck of his trawler. "You're looking for passage to Antalya?" he asked. "I'll be sailing tomorrow morning." Interesting. Now where is that? Do we fancy going on a fisherman's trawler? I don't think Passepartout does. He wants to travel on something slightly more luxurious. He highly doubts they'll do good wine on a fisherman's trawler. So we shook our head, and he shrugged. Enjoy the sights. Further along I encountered a few grizzled souls playing dominoes. Interesting. I don't mind a game of dominoes, so we watched them play, but could make nothing of it. There appeared to be strategies and counterplays, but it seemed as random as a game of Find the Lady. A despicable pastime. Okay, perhaps he doesn't like dominoes then. Oh. Right. We've been to the market, have we? Yeah, we've been to the market. Time is ticking. Let's have a look-see here. So we could go to Istanbul, or we could go to Antalya. 110. That's only 78. That arrives Sunday. That arrives Sunday. Fishing trawler tomorrow at 8. God, that does not seem luxurious at all. And that is a public carriage tomorrow at 3. Where do we go? Istanbul or Antalya? Antalya is closer to Egypt. That's a little bit sooner. Costs a little bit more money. Yeah, I think we're going to go to Antalya. It's tomorrow at 8. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. What we'll do is we shall simply chill out. What do you reckon? We'll hit the bank. Monsieur Fogg looked quite resolved. "We must once again make a demand upon the bank, I fear," he declared. "This time we'll stare at the manager." A small, sweaty woman greeted us with suspicious enthusiasm. None of these. Well, we're going tomorrow. So what's tomorrow? Saturday? Take too long. And we swept out the bank. Thankfully, our situation is not desperate, my master declared. Onwards! Right, at the hotel, pass the night, in the morning, off we go to Antlia. Okay, we're going to bite the bullet here. We're going to see if our master, Monsieur Fogg, wants anything today. Can't avoid him forever now, can we? Oh dear, we've given him a haircut. And the relations have improved slightly. Small steps. Small steps. Right, off we go. We're off. We're off to Antalya. 110 on board a fishing trawler. Holy cow. Minus 22. Baking sunshine, sweltering heat, mild seas, but thankfully our recent purchase of the partial desert outfits should be some assistance. Thank the gods. A good investment. Right, our money is going down a little touch. Could be a problem in the future. We boarded a small boat that smelled of various kinds of fish, which put out from port at first light. News? No. Conversation. Greetings, Captain Dukov. Enjoying a voyage? Doing conversation about Antalya. I'm very interested in Antalya. Ah, now there's a tale. And yes, Antalya to Alexandria. That's exactly what I want to know about. Ooh, my aunt once took the merchant trader Nefertiti from Antalya to Alexandria. Lovely. What about Cairo? I'll say only this. You can pick up beaten gold rings in Cairo that will sell for a fortune in Baku. Oh, so we can get to Beirut from Antalya, then onwards to Alexandria and Cairo, and then from Cairo to Suez perhaps? The plan is coming together nicely. I could have been a fisherman. The slow glint of the waves. You know, actually, being a fisherman is one of the world's most dangerous jobs. Yeah, it really is. That could lull one to sleep if the fish themselves weren't so damn slippery. The free-flowing beer that greases the line. The pleasant work of skinning or the splosh as the fish are tossed back alive. Well, as much as it would be nice to toss a few back alive, I mean, if we're going to risk our lives catching these damn critters, then we're going to use them for food or whatever else. The pleasant work of skinning and gutting the catch as it lands on deck before it can flop away. Yes, I could have been a fisherman, but sadly, I had the misfortune to become an acrobat at an early age, and after that, a valet. When I finally left the deck and went below to attend my master, he merely averted his nostrils, declaring, "Passport too? You smell of fish!" Ah, the winding paths our life takes, and any work that we did to improve relations with a snazzy haircut have just gone down the damn Swanee. Relations growing worse again. I smell of fish! What do you expect me to smell of, you moron? He's saying in his mind, of course. We're on a damn fishing trawler. Although that could be argued that it's our fault that we're on here in the first place. Oh dear. I wonder if we'll get sacked before we get around the world in 80 days. Is that a possibility? To tick off Mr. Fogg so much that we just get abandoned somewhere? Abandoned in Beirut. Right, we rounded the coast of Turkey, clinging to the shore. We saw several other boats plying the waters, some fishing vessels, some ferries. We asked one of the fishermen about the other boats, and he shrugged. A grizzled shrug. Busy little place this. Water's the quickest way to anywhere. Except the airships, another puts in. But they're all private from Antalya. You can't get aboard unless you know the right people. A few hours later, we were on dry land once more. A bath? Monsieur Fogg murmured. I must have a bath. What's the matter? You don't like the smell of fish? What's wrong with the smell of fish? Right, Antalya. I have no idea about the place, but this is not where we want to be. We want to be in Egypt, so we're going to quickly... Oh, we're going to India. A timetable. Very nice. We'll take it. Eastern spices. Valuable in Alexandria. Perfect. We'll take them as well. And leather braces. Valuable in Alexandria as well. Oh, we can't take any more. Ooh, what shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? Oh, we're going to sell some stuff in Alexandria and raise some coin. We really do need Atlantic timetable, desert shaving kit. What's this? Desert traveller's kit. An extra suitcase. It's just going to be an issue travelling with all these suitcases. That's the only problem, isn't it? Oh no! Oh, that's fine. I thought we had the old problem again with the textures. Look at all these routes coming into view. Chittagong, going towards China. Right, quickly, let's plan a route. Don't want to stay here longer than necessary. Beirut, it has to be. Arrives tomorrow. Departs tomorrow at 11 AM on the board the Nefertiti. Can only take 3 cases. That's going to be a problem. We're going to have to sell something, aren't we? Maybe the elastic wallet might have to go. But we shall sort that out next time, because we've come to the end of this particular session. Here we are in Antalya, heading towards Egypt. I don't know what's going to happen next. Although, I could have a good guess. We're probably going to tick off Mr. Fogg. That's the only certainty. So join me next time to see how we fare in the land of the Great Pyramids. Until then, see you soon.